So let's talk a little bit about altered chords. Hi, I'm Sandy at Playforministry, and we're going to talk today about changing up some of the chords in your hymns. Now, there are two basic ways to alter a chord. One is to change one of the notes or one or more of the notes in the chord to make it a different chord, and one is to add notes to the chord. Now, when you change a note, for instance, in a C major chord, C, E, G, you change this E to an E flat, you've gone to a minor. That's something you can't just pop into a song when you've got other instruments or voices playing with you. But if we're talking about adding a note to the chord, for instance, if we've got that C major chord and we want to add a sixth, which is the A, or we want to add a seventh, which is what we're going to talk about today, that would be a B flat. This does not clash at all with this C major chord. Okay, this C major 7 has the C major chord in it. So you can add a note when you've got other voices singing or other instruments playing. And that's just a way to add flavor without changing the chord so that it's going to clash with the other instruments. So let's talk about that a little bit. We're going to be talking about the 1-7 chord. So that means if you're in the key of C, which I always go to the key of C to analyze, your one chord built off the first note of the scale is a C major, C, E, G. So we're going to add a seventh to that. Now, when we add a seventh to a chord, it's understood that that's a minor seventh. This would be written C with a little 7 above it, or Roman numeral 1 with a little 7 above it. The minor seventh is a minor third added to the top. Okay. If we added a major seventh, we would be adding a major third at the top. So we've got our C, E, G. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3. That's our minor seventh. Major seventh would be adding 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're adding the 3, so we're going to go to this B flat. So in the key of C, your 1-7 is going to be your one chord with the seventh added. You could also see this just written with a capital C and a 7 as a C7. So it depends on which way you're writing your chord, as numerals or as letters. So let's talk about, first I'm going to show you a few places where they're in the hymns already. The composers of the hymns or the arrangers of the hymns have written these chords into the hymns already. So let's look at a few of those first. We have He is able to deliver thee. And let me look at my notes here. Though by sin oppressed. So that's going to be in the chorus. He is able to deliver thee. He is able to deliver thee. Now here it comes. We're going to go to we're in the key of B flat, so we're going to go to a B flat chord. Though by sin, right here. They have written the B flat, the F, and the D. So there's our chord. And now what would be the seventh in a B flat chord? We would be adding an A flat. And that's what they've got right there. Sin oppressed. Without that, it would be, which is fine too. If you can always play that instead, but this composer has put it in there. Another song that has it in is Jesus is Calling. Calling today, Jesus is tenderly calling. So we've got the chorus. Then we go again, calling today. And then we go to a C major chord, but they've added that B flat. Now, one thing to notice when you've got this 1-7 is it always leads into a 4 chord. So in this instance, we've got the C major chord, and it takes us to our F chord, which is the 4 chord. Okay. Another example of it written into the song, open my eyes that I may see. At the last line, we have ready, ready, my God, thy will to see. We're in the key of A flat. So we've got, and we add the G flat. And then we go to a D flat chord, which in the key of A flat, B flat, C, D. That's your 4 chord. So there it is. So we've got open my eyes. Okay. So once you start hearing this sound and identifying it as a 1-7, sometimes when you hear that sound in your head as you're playing, you can go ahead and put it in there. Now, there are some songs where I hear it, even though it's not written in, and you can add it. This particular one is Glory to His Name. And if you remember Adam Rogerson from some of our other videos, he adds the 7 here in a couple places. But down at the cross, we're in the key of A flat. So our A flat chord, A flat, C, E flat. Our 7th added is going to be 1, 2, 3, is a G flat. The other way you can look at it is if you played the chord with the octave and then came down a whole step, that's where you're looking to be too, okay? So we have down at the cross where my Savior died. Now he adds it right there on the where. And if you'll notice, these also don't jump to the 1-7. They'll play the 1 chord and then transition to the 1-7 on the way to the 4. So we have down at the cross right here. Yeah, Adam adds it right on the where. Down at the cross where my Savior died. Okay? And the way he does it, he puts it in the left-hand run. He will come up, hit that the F sharp G, I guess we should call it G flat because we're in a flat key. And then he comes back up and does not put it in on the way up. So something like, okay? So you can add it in the left. It doesn't have to be in the right hand. It can be anywhere on the keyboard you add that one. Now this also shows up in between the verse and the chorus. There, to my heart was the blood applied. Glory to His name. And then you can go to the 7 on the way to the D flat. So it might be like, it could be as simple as that. Just play the chord one more time and change the 1 note to be your 1-7. Another song that I hear this added to in my head is Are You Washed in the Blood? And let's see, where did I have it there? Oh, fully trusting in His grace this hour. So you have second line, have you been to Jesus? Cleansing power, are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Right here. Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? So again, we have an A flat chord and we added a G flat. So right there, right where I put it in. Okay, so that's another one that you can do. And another place where I hear it is in the Old Rugged Cross. We've got the first line, on a hill far away, stood. Right there on stood, I hear this. So let's see if we can make that come out here. We're in the key of B flat, so our B flat chord, we're going to add an A flat. So we've got, and then for me, I would just do it right here. Okay, so once you start to identify this as the 1-7, when you hear that sound in your head, try the 1-7. Now you might want to not try it while you're playing it for people, but then go home and try it and see if that's what it is. And that's what I do a lot. I'll hear something and then I'll try to go home and see if I can figure out what it was. And sometimes you've done it. You watch the YouTube videos and you try to slow them down and try to figure out what it is they're playing. And if you want some help or if you have a specific question, feel free to leave it in the comment. You can also email me. I've been getting some emails lately. You can email me at playforministry@gmail.com. And the 4 is written out FOR. I did have a website with a fancy email at one time, but tech irritates me. So if you go to playforministry.com right now, you will find a parked domain. So maybe we'll get that back up and running at some point in the future. So anyway, the 1-7, it's a great sound that you can add to your improvising. It's an easy thing to do once you get used to it and once you start identifying it. So play around with that a little bit and see if maybe you can come up with some other places and comment the other songs that you find and the location in the songs where you think the 1-7 fits nicely. Again, this is Sandy at Play for Ministry. I'll be talking to you later. Bye-bye.